Am I back in the game? That's what we always say, back in the game. Well, Typically unique. My name's Kim, if you're new here, and every Wednesday I do a live walk and talk. And today I am down at Lakeshore Park by this duck pond. We're going to walk around the whole park, and I'm going to tell you a crazy story about police corruption and how, yes, it does happen sometimes. And my husband and I talk a lot about the Idaho 4 case. We do not see eye to eye on that case. I have lots of questions, and he thinks that they have the right guy in jail. And so, one of the things we'll often talk about is the police are not going to lie on the stand. He doesn't think that would happen. And I'm going to share a case where it did happen. So it is possible. It does happen sometimes. Can anybody hear me? I'm going to try this again. All right. It says I'm connected. It says I'm connected. If you're out there and you're listening and you can hear me, please let me know. It's still the same. Carlos, how does it sound? Does it sound weird? Lori says I'm sounding weird. Thanks, babe. I appreciate that. All right. I'm standing on the bridge where, cute little bridge. We're going to go over the duck pond. Today, oh gosh, I don't want to get attacked by that mister right there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is this going to be like the dog attack? I'm going to go easily and slowly around him and just take a nice little look at all the ducks and geese and there's swans. They're beautiful. I'm pretty sure they're swans, right? They're white. Yeah, beautiful. And I'm gonna tell you about a case of police corruption. Hey, babe, I found a case where a police chief perjured himself on the stand and did jail time for it. Because we always talk about that, and you say they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't risk their career. Well, this guy did. The trees are definitely changing colors. I love this one. Straight ahead of me, look at that orange. It's beautiful down here. Alright, so this case that I'm going to share with you today, this is going to become my little mini series because this story is crazy and I have to do it in small chunks because there's too much to remember and it gets a little complicated. So this is attached to the Long Island serial killer case or Gilgo Beach, if you've seen either of those. There's been an arrest. Rex Heuermann was arrested, but this case happened before an arrest. So I always talk about Shannan Gilbert when I talk about the Long Island serial killer case because she was a sex worker that went to a place, Long Island, to a house. She had made a 911 call that night. found. That happened in 22, so I don't remember the exact date when she was found. But they are saying that her case, it says, don't feed the geese. Her case is not connected to Rex Sherman. So we know the night she went missing, there was a party at this guy's house, and his last name was Brewer. He'll come into the story later, but she was at his house. She got freaked out. She ran away. She called 911. She disappeared. Her body was found in a swampy, the high weeds area. Okay, so during that time, there was a police chief named James Burke. Okay, he's a key player in this story. James Burke. He was alleged, like the rumor on the street was, he was a crooked cop. Helicopter. Can you guys see the helicopter? Crooked cop. The drug dealers in that town knew that he would like make drug busts, make arrests, and then skim money and substances for himself. So apparently, the bad guys, the criminals in the town knew that. So enter a young kid named Chris Loeb. Just want to show you the water. Here's a beach that lots of people go to. I know if my connection is bad, please bear with me. If I need to like go back and do the audio over again for this, I will. I just wanted to take you down here. So if that's the case, I'll just fix the audio, retell the story. So it's pretty cool down here. We call those rocks right there, we call them the break wall because they're breaking the waves. You can see the seagulls. I don't see any ships out there. When I went on that walking tour last week, what was it, last Friday, with Lori, we learned that back in like the heyday of our port, there would be like 50 ships waiting to dock to unload their coal and their iron ore and all their goods. Like, pretty crazy. Everybody dipped out. I bet my connection's bad. Water. Maybe I'll just take footage. I'll just walk around and take footage and then go live from my house and talk over it. So I'm just going to keep on with the story. Chris Loeb, a young in the big drug rings in that area. And he knew about the corrupt police officer. And they got word, and he was put up to the task to find this police officer's house. And there was no name. Like, they didn't know the name, but someone told him, hey, a dirty cop lives here, and he's got stuff in his car. We need you to go get it. So he does. He, like, goes to the neighborhood. He goes to the neighborhood and finds a police car, gets into it. There's a duffel bag on the back seat, and he takes the duffel bag. And he gets home, And he goes to the duffel bag, and there is, oh my gosh, the stuff that's in there. Okay, there's sex toys, there's um, movies, you know, that rhyme with corn. There, but not only that, there are, how do I want to say it? Just say the snuff um, movies. And when he saw that, he got so freaked out. You can see our lighthouse out there. Right. Am I looking right through there? Nope. Where's that? Right there is a lighthouse. So he knew, oh my gosh, what did I just stumble upon? So he hides it in a shop vac in his basement. He's down in the basement. He watches the movies, and when he sees what he sees, he like totally freaks out. So apparently the cops find out like immediately. Somehow the cop found out immediately. They show up at his house. I don't know the exact timeline. It sounds like it was immediately. Oh, and I wanted to mention all this information comes from a podcast that I listen to on iTunes, and it's called Unraveled. And the hosts are Billy Jensen and Alexis Linkletter. And Alexis personally knows Chris Loeb. Like they went to high school together, right? So she knew him. It sounded like fairly well in high school. Oh my gosh, I am just walking through nothing but goose poop. Oh my god. Um, so that's where I got this information. So if you wanted to look it up for yourself, you could, but you know, it's like firsthand. They interviewed Chris Loeb, and they first got in contact with him when he was actually in jail, and I'm going to tell you how he ended up in jail. And why he ended up reaching out to this friend Alexis because he was terrified. He was terrified. So that's the boat dock over here. Well, it used to be a boat dock. I don't know if they moved it. Interesting. Okay, so Chris Loeb has this duffel bag, sees what's in it. The cops show up at his house. He stashes it, the CDs, in, or the DVDs, whatever, in the shop vac. He takes off, runs out the back door of the house. He lives with his mom. His mom's in one side of the house, he's in the other side of the house. Apparently, the cops must have went back there and found him, bring him back. They're, they're pissed. And they're like, where is it? Where is it? I don't know how they knew he was the one that did it, but they did. They're rummaging around his basement, and they knock over the shop vac. And so the DVDs spill out. So now they have them. So Chris doesn't have them anymore. They arrest him. They take him down to the station, and the cops are like yelling at him and telling him to they're accusing him of having a weapon, like a pew pew weapon, and they're threatening him and saying that they're going to charge his mom with stuff, and go this way. They're going to charge his mom, and then all the police officers, all the investigators leave the room, and the chief, James Burke, comes into the room, and I mean, he is pissed. And he says to Chris Loeb, you think you're going to steal from me? Well, this Chris kid didn't know that he didn't know who he stole from, but now he does. Now he's like, oh my gosh, I just stole from the chief of police. And I'm not 1000%. Yeah, he was the chief at the time. He was. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. So, oh, stole from the chief of police. And he wasn't talking. Chris was not talking. He wasn't saying anything. So he when everybody leaves the room, they first of all they chained him to the floor like in a squatting position. So his hands and his ankles were both tied way down low. So he had to squat for like 10 hours. Then when the police chief came in, he beat him up. Um, at the least, they said that he punched him in the face, but it sounds like they really got into it. They were both spitting on each other and just sounds like more than just one punch in the face. So Chris goes to jail, and they set his bond for $1.5 million, 30 charges. The charges were like drug possession, because I'm sure that was in the bag too. Drug possession, weapon possession, and I don't know what the other one was. Theft, assault, I don't know, something like that. So he ends up getting 3 years in prison because all the cops lied on the stand. No one would say anything about him getting assaulted. Nobody would corroborate about what was in the bag. So it just looked like he was arrested for theft and drugs and weapons